Rangers have sacked Giovanni van Bronckhorst. He officially leaves the club today, but he is one in a long list of Rangers managers to leave Ibrox since the club went down to the lower leagues in 2012. Now, there has been some permanent managers, there has been some caretaker managers, there's been some, there's been a couple of okay managers, there's been a lot of bad managers. We're here, though, to rank the best Rangers managers. In fact, we're here to rank all the Rangers managers from 2012 to the current day. Now, in this list, we will only be ranking managers that had more than 25 games in charge of the club, because I feel like it's unfair to rank, let's say, Jimmy Nicholl, who was a caretaker and had 3 games in charge, whereas Graham Murray was also a caretaker, but he managed in like 33 games. So therefore, he literally almost had a full season compared to Jimmy Nicholl, who had like fucking 2 weeks. So it is what it is. With that said, there are 6 people on the list. We're going to start with number 6, who is the worst of the bunch, and then we'll move up and we'll get to number 1, who is the best of the bunch. Is that clear?
That is clear. And kicking off in last place, drum roll please. Si senor.
Pedro Caixinha. It has to be Pedro, right? I mean, there's a number of reasons why it could be Pedro. We could talk about the bad league form. We could talk about the fact that like 10 games into the season, he'd already lost 3 games and drawn a number of them. But for me, he'll always be known for the 2-0 defeat against Progress in the, was it Europa League qualifier?
It was.
Yeah, I mean, embarrassing.
It wasn't Champions League, like, I know that.
Fucking Progress. And the name of the club didn't help him either. It was an absolute embarrassment.
It's not only that, it's the shortest reign of every Rangers manager in history. Not like, he's like 5th. He's the shortest reign ever. And I remember watching at this point, it was horrendous. And also, Andy Halliday revealed in a story that they came in at half time in one of the games and he had a name written on the whiteboard who didn't even play for the fucking club.
I remember that story.
I know there's a language barrier, like, but Halliday said they're all looking around the change room, like, who the fuck's John? I don't know I can't remember what his name was, but let's just go with John.
Like, fucking Matt. Let's look at Declan John was he maybe thinking of? I don't know, but let's look at the competitive results in the Scottish Premiership. Kicks off the season, 1-1 draw against Hamilton at Ibrox. Sneaks a 2-1 win against Dundee at Dens Park. Sneaks a 2-1 win against Motherwell at Ibrox. Draws at Kelly 1-1. Then loses the first Old Firm game of the season to Celtic 5-1. Draws at home at Ibrox against Ross County 0-0. Then loses at Pittodrie 2-1. Manages to beat Partick Thistle 2-0. The highest win of his career. That was the highest win of his career. Rangers then beat Inverness 1-0 before drawing at home to St Johnstone, and then he got sacked a day after that. So he had 4 wins in the opening many games that we got there, 10 games. So he had 4 wins in the opening 10 games. 3 of those wins were by a single goal, and the other win came against Partick Thistle 2-0, and I believe they got relegated that season.
That's insane, isn't it?
Those stats are shit.
But no, it's still funny. He still managed to beat Linfield 7-0.
Well, his goal, but 10 games in, he had a negative goal difference.
Yeah, had to go. Had to go, man.
And he defeats against Celtic and Aberdeen. And draws at Ibrox against St Johnstone, Ross County and Hamilton. In the opening 10 games. By far the worst manager for me.
It's very bad, right? I'm under no illusion of that. But this is a Rangers team at a time where they weren't clear second. There was a gap. There wasn't a gap. What he's done here, is it really much worse than what Gio's just been sacked for this season? Obviously it's worse, but is it like... Is it really that bad?
No, but what doesn't hurt his case is he came in with a lot of hype and people thought this was going to be the man to finally get Rangers back on track, and all he did was set them back about 10 years. Anyway, that's Pedro coming in.
Gio's kind of done the same thing, like.
True.
But there's more guys in between then, isn't there?
There is. So Pedro is coming in last at number 6. Coming in at number 5, this might be controversial due to his pretty good win percentage as Rangers manager. He had a 72.46% win ratio, but we're going to go with Ali McCoist. He spent quite a few seasons at the club, almost 4 seasons to be exact. But the reason why we're going with Ali McCoist is, first of all, his first season in the top flight he took over Walter Smith's team that won the league, and then the following season, he lost the league. So, I mean, he went from the team that won to the team that lost, and they were quite a long way behind Celtic. But that's not the main reason, but that is one reason. Then, the following seasons, in the lower divisions, they had some shocking results. I believe it was against Alloa Athletic. Rangers were 2-0 up with 15 minutes to go and lost 3-2 against a fucking part-time team.
That's bad.
And that was a late kick. It was a 7:45 kickoff. Those players had been working their 9-to-5 job that day. 2-0 down, and with 15 minutes to go, they turned it around and beat Rangers 3-2.
Wish I could do that.
That is fucking horrendous. Lots of draws against teams that they shouldn't have been drawn against. Cup competitions, I get it, they weren't nowhere near as good as Celtic, but they'd never done anything in the cup. They never had any good cup runs. I can't remember them ever getting to Hampden. I think they had one semi-final, maybe, during Ali McCoist's 4 years in charge of the club. But, like, again, you'd expect them to at least get to semis, get to finals. Didn't happen. And last but not least, when he got into the Championship and he wasn't playing against duds, he had a couple of big clubs in the Championship at that time. I don't know if you can remember, Hibs and Hearts. And he was third when he got sacked. And Rangers finished third that season behind both Edinburgh clubs, partly due to the bad start that McCoist had. Now, I don't know, I mean, no disrespect to Hearts or Hibs, but Rangers, with the budget they have, should have smoked that Championship. Should have been well clear.
No, they should have, absolutely. It's not good enough for McCoist. Definitely not. And I think he deserves his 5th place. I mean, the win percentage is the best, but...
But, I mean, let's be real. Those wins came against teams in League 1 and League 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once he got to the Championship, he stopped winning.
I mean, the Rangers team wasn't unreal, because obviously for obvious reasons, but even when it was in League 2, it was still... It's still a Scottish Premiership team. It's not a League 2 team.
Because, yeah, when they were in League 2, you'd players leaving clubs in the Premiership to go to Rangers. Players were leaving, obviously not Celtic players, but anyone pretty much was leaving their other clubs to go and play for Rangers. So it just goes to show you, they probably, on paper, they still had the second best team, arguably. On budget, they easily had the second, biggest budget, and he just couldn't deliver. So that's why McCoist is coming in 5th place. 4th place, we're going to go with Graham Murty. He had 2 caretaker spells in charge of Rangers before Pedro and after Pedro. Don't know if that helps him or hurts him. Probably helps him in his second stint, to be fair. And you know what? Probably helps his first stint as well, because people look back at it and go, it wasn't that bad. He had 35 games in total in charge of Rangers, but if you look at his win percentage, on average it rounds out at about 56%, which is just basically winning just over half your games. It's not good enough, although he did get a 0-0 draw in his first Old Firm game against Celtic, and that's something that up to that point...
It was 1-1.
Well, 1-1.
Kenny Miller got the goal.
The point being is they got a fucking draw, and the Rangers weren't getting draws against Celtic back then.
They were getting pumped.
Yeah, Rangers.
Now we're back to getting pumped.
Now, the only thing is, I'm pretty sure every Old Firm game after that, Murty's team did get pumped.
Aye, they did.
But he got off to a good start in the Old Firm, give him credit there. Didn't really do anything in the league. Contributed to Rangers finishing third again that season. He was the main reason, to be fair. Took over for Pedro. But then again, Pedro got him off to a bad start, so I don't know. He had a higher win percentage than Pedro in his second stint. So if Graham Murty had the full 2016-2017 season as manager of Rangers, would he have finished second? Considering they did finish, 9 points behind Aberdeen? Would that have been enough to get Rangers second, in your opinion?
Probably not, to be honest. Maybe, because they did get beat against Aberdeen with Pedro, so, that could have been a 6-point swing. And then other games that they lost, but it's hypotheticals. It's if buts, maybes, man. Maybe they could have done it, but, 9 points is 9 points, isn't it?
Yeah, 9 points is 9 points. It's pretty bad, isn't it? It's not good.
No, it's
9 points behind Aberdeen when you're Rangers, it's not really. And look at the goal difference. They finished the season with plus 12 goal difference. Aberdeen plus 39. That's fucking insane, man. That is mad.
We'll never see that again.
No.
Apart from maybe this season,
Nah, I don't think that's right. Fucking Hearts only scored 1 goal less than Rangers, man. What the fuck's happening?
Mighty fucking Jambos.
Maybe Marty should have been lower on this list. I don't know. Coming in at number 3, we've got Mark Warburton. Now, I think Mark Warburton did okay at Rangers, but the thing he didn't do was challenge Celtic, and if you don't do that, then you're destined to fail as Rangers manager. But I believe that he was consistently better than the other managers below him. I think he got better results, and that's why he's coming in at number 3. He was supposed to be the man with the magic hat. He got Rangers up for the championship.
The magic hat.
But the magic hat didn't really work once he got into the main division. But he did get Rangers up. He did bring them up. So, I mean, fair play to that, I guess. He had a win percentage of 65.85%. And he did win a Challenge Cup as well.
And he did. He beat Celtic in the semi-final.
He did. And I think when you look at the championship win, and when Warburton was there, I think they finished quite clearly above the Hibs. Can't remember, but I'm pretty sure Hibs were nowhere near them.
I'm willing to bet my top rocker on that prospect.
Yeah, so I mean, Warburton, even then, his first season back in charge, still couldn't beat Aberdeen. But I would put him above Marty. He done better. Better win percentage, closer to Aberdeen. Won a league, won a Challenge Cup. It is what it is. I mean, let's be real, Warburton's third here, but he's best of the rest. He's the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving into second, it has to be this man. Take it away.
It's Giovanni BRONCKHORST coming in at second place. We tried debating about could he be lower. He certainly couldn't be higher, in my opinion. No, he could have been if he'd done something, but he didn't do that thing, right? But I
still think if he wins the Europa League, that's not quite stopping 10, is it?
Well, if he wins the Europa League, we're probably not looking at him getting sacked right now.
True. But yeah, Gio, like I said, Europa League run final, brilliant. Scottish Cup win. They might look at it and say it's only the Scottish Cup, but Rangers hadn't won a cup in over 10 years, so he did something that no other manager on this list could do, and that is win, let's say, a Premier Cup. I mean, we did say Mark Warburton won the Challenge Cup, but I mean, that's like a fucking second-tier cup, isn't it, really?
I know, but let's be real, right? Gio, he won the cup,
Challenge Cup ain't a challenge.
Got the Europa League run, right?
I like that.
But he's also set Rangers backwards.
The Challenge Cup ain't a challenge.
No, but put it this way, right? See if every manager on this list, did they set Rangers as backwards as what Gio's done?
Probably not, but you can make an argument when any of these managers took over, Rangers weren't in that good a position. Now, Gio's actually took over when they were champs, so therefore Gio had more to lose.
Yeah.
When Gio took over, Rangers by far had the best team they've had in this 10-year stint, undeniably. So you could argue for Gio it was actually harder to improve the team, whereas for the guys before him, it was easier to improve the team.
Yeah, he comes in with a 63.08 win percentage, and Gio's son, he gets second place, but it's a poor second place in my opinion. We're not spoiled for options here, are we?
I mean, if you take Scottish Cup's nice, right? And Europa League run to the finals, great. But if you're basing it purely just on league form,
fuck, he's near the bottom.
Then, yeah, I mean, he probably isn't. If it's purely based on league
because the rest of them were managing a team that had no right, really, to compete with Celtic.
Yeah.
Or were in the lower leagues.
Whereas Gio, in my opinion, is managing a team that can compete with Celtic and is fucking clear of the third best team in the league by a mile.
He took over a team that was the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Competing against a team that was work in progress.
I think when you factor in the Scottish Cup and his European run, it easily deserves second place. If you're factoring it just domestic league form, then maybe not. But yeah, Gio is number 2. So that means number 1 is Stevie G.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
You know what? The guy revolutionised Rangers.
Look, let's be real. It doesn't matter what he done. He done the one thing he was asked to do, and that's stop 10 in a row.
That's what he did. He came in, he did it.
So therefore, you could argue he's probably the best Rangers manager of all time. Fuck your Walter Smiths and all those guys. It's Stevie Gerrard. This guy stopped 10 in a row. That's probably, I'd say that's more. I think you could argue stopping 10 in a row is more important than whoever the guy that won 9 in a row, Walter Smith. I was thinking Celtic won it twice there, but I forgot Rangers only done it once. So yeah. But what do you think? Do you think that's a fair claim, or?
It is a fair claim. Gerrard.
See, here's the thing, right? Winning 9 in a row is impressive. But see the manager that wins 9 in a row. I think he's kind of more known for not winning 10.
I know what you mean. And I think it's more impressive. I know.
I know.
Your team's dominant. Is it not more impressive to stop the 10?
I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I know Neil Lennon didn't win all the 9, right? But he won the 9th one. But no one really gives him... And he won the ones that started it. But no one really gives him credit. He gets bashed for being the guy that didn't win Celtic the 10.
Exactly.
So therefore, I think you can make a claim that actually stopping a team from winning 10 is more important than... Or it seems more valuable, more memorable than winning 9. That's exactly what Gerrard done. Right, he won the 10. I mean, he stopped the 10. He won Rangers their 55th league title. First league title in, 11 years? 10 years? He had good runs in Europe. He made Rangers a force again in Europe, albeit he didn't get to the final of anything. But he made Rangers competitive. Even when they weren't getting out the group stages, I think in his first season, they missed it by like a point. They could have easily got out of that group. And with Gerrard as Rangers manager, he felt like they could get results against, decent sides in Europe, which up until Gerrard took over, Rangers were pretty much a laughing stock. See Pedro and see progress for that. But the one thing I think you can criticise Gerrard for is the lack of trophies. I mean, he won 1 trophy. His cup run, his cup record was pretty abysmal.
But like you say, it was the one that mattered.
It was, but I mean, I don't think he was perfect by any means. But I think he's clearly the best Rangers manager in the last 10 years.
He's the man. Stevie G, I'll take him back tomorrow.
Will he come back? We'll have to find out. But the one thing for sure is Stevie G ranks number 1 on our list of Rangers managers since 2012. Let us know in the comments down below, what is your list? Do you agree with our list? And if you don't agree, then let us know why. But we're going Pedro 6, McCoist 5th, Murty 4th, Warmington 3rd, Gio 2nd, and Gerrard 1st. That's it, guys. Let us know what you think down below, and we'll catch you in the next one. But until then, peace!